Near the beginning of the century of the missions, we find the papal missionary document Maximum Illud, issued by the Supreme Pontiff Benedict XV on November 30, 1990. Maximum Illud, as a prophetic and missionary papal document, is the most quoted papal document on mission of the 20th century. Despite being one of the most frequently cited documents in mission literature, Maximum Illud can rightly be considered a great unknown. And so, Pope Francis, in proclaiming October 2019 to be an extraordinary missionary month, on the occasion of the centenary of Benedict XV's Apostolic Letter, stresses that this is a providential opportunity to do justice to this fundamental and prophetic text on mission. The Church of God, mindful of its divine mandate, never ceased through the course of the centuries to send to all places messengers and ministers of the divine word who proclaim the eternal salvation offered to the human race by Christ. Maximum Illud appeared in the context of a challenging time for the missionary commitment of the Church. Or perhaps it is precisely this situation that prompted its publication. The First World War had recently ended, and the Church was experiencing a loss of missionary fervor as a consequence of both the great tragedies of that conflict and the factors that eventually led to the Second World War. The countries being evangelized through Western colonies, and therefore colonialism often took priority over any evangelical objective, especially in cases where those who were announcing the good news came from the nations that had colonized the very people they were evangelizing. The demands of progress, industry, and development to find new lands to sell their products and new places from which to obtain raw materials caused conflicts among European nations. Economic motivations led to wars and extended into the colonies, especially in Africa, where European missionaries were at work. In short, and without going into detail, the people to be evangelized were also victims of the consequences of the world wars. Benedict XV provides an example that makes clear the danger of such nationalist tendencies. Let us assume that he, the missionary, has not completely put aside these human intentions and does not behave fully as a true apostolic man, but rather gives reason to suppose that he is acting in the interest of his country. Certainly, all his work will become suspect by the population, which will then easily be led to believe that the Christian religion is nothing more than the religion of a given nation, and that embracing it means being dependent on a foreign state, thus renouncing one's own nationality. Maximum Illud opened the doors to a reflection on mission ad gentes that remains highly relevant even 100 years after its promulgation, such that it can well be considered a guiding text on missiology, helping us recognize that mission can renew the Church without saying it explicitly.